Got a little bit of time. What up, YouTube? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody is feeling righteous. So I got to kind of keep an eye on what I'm doing right now because, as you can see, I'm just in the middle of nowhere getting it in. But what I want to speak on today, excuse the sun is in my face, I'm kind of squinting a little bit, but it's all to the good. What I want to speak on today and remind some people of it, as I'm constantly reminded of it by family members and friends, you're a winner. Trust me and believe me when I tell you, I'm a winner. I know I'm a winner, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Sometimes the Spirit of God will have you look back upon your life and say, even though the trial and tribulation was there, didn't you win through every situation, every circumstance? Didn't you win? It made you better. It strengthens your mind. It strengthened your heart. It strengthened your core. Didn't you win through it? And I have to look back and say, yes. Sometimes my sister will remind me of some things that I won at. Sometimes my dad, my godpop, my mom, they'll all remind me throughout life of some things that I actually won or actually did good at, came out victorious. Haven't them people been trying to put you out of that place, but couldn't do it because it wasn't meant to happen? All of a sudden, the rent money started coming out of nowhere when you've been doing your best to make it happen. Haven't them jobs came through just in the nick of time? Everything that you went through it, and you came out victoriously. That's what I call Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. That's what I call the lion's den. When you go through a situation and you come out without a scratch, which means you went through it, nobody can tell, nobody knew it, and you didn't come out smelling like fire. You walked through the lion's den and didn't come out bleeding, not with one piece of flesh torn out of your system, out of your body. Victorious. We winners. Now, get this. This was what came to me. Now, this is just my opinion. Some of you may agree, some maybe not. In order for the ego has this society's ego. The boss on the job. I talked about this in one video before, but now I want to make a point. Had to pick up my, Now I want to make a point on it. The Hollywood ego, the ego on the job, that's enough right there. I don't even need to go no further. The ego at the Coach bag store, the ego at the Prana store, the ego at the Kate Spade store, the ego at the Louis Vuitton store. All the egos, right? And things that we put on our bodies to make us feel important. We all guilty of it. When I talk, there's no pointing the fingers. There's never no big I's and little U's. We all, when we know better, we do better, right? So in order for these egos to in order for these, y'all pray for me, man. I need to quit. I don't smoke Black and Miles much, but I need to quit, I could tell. But in order for these egos to be put to a halt, in order for the ego to be put to a halt, something had to take place. Because to be honest with you, the ego was getting too out of hand. Like I always talk about the cup overflowing. When the cup overflows, it creates a mess. And we were starting to walk in blood, man. The cup overflow full of blood, and we was just like starting to walk in blood. It was like the blood was flooding out the land. So the ego had to be, I look at that like the ego had to be crushed. The ego had to, somebody had to stab the ego head and put a hole in it to bleed out some of that crap. So you have now what they refer to as some kind of virus, right? And is it real? Like I said, we heard stories. We hear about it. But it's brought a lot of the egos in our egotistical ways to, man, wow, I didn't know I was walking through there, that's why. Look at my shoes, man. I don't know if y'all can see it. That's that desert. That's that desert right there. That's that middle of nowhere. So anyway, let me get back to it. So the ego, right? In order for that type of ego, because it wasn't going to be easy to bring down an ego. People love going to most of those jobs, bossing people around, playing the role of somebody who control your life, can fire you at any given time. Now, don't get me wrong. We all have to work. We all have to do what we have to do. But there were some people who were really like egotistically tripping in some of these places that have been closed down and probably would never open up again. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying as a whole, the ego had to be put in check because it was creating a mess on the planet. It was just completely out of balance. This is my opinion. Some of you may agree, some may not, but it's okay. I'm okay with that. So ego, right? I'm bigger than you, I'm better than you, I'm a better actor. Even the police ego. I'll shoot you dead. Now you got people all over the world like, wait a minute, man, what are you doing? What y'all doing? You know what I mean? All over the world. Places you would never expect. Marching. Now, some people may say something about this, but they say, Black Lives Matter. So where did these people land at? Where did they come from? They landed from some outer space, and now all of a sudden their lives matter too, as if at one point it didn't. Their lives didn't matter. Yeah, well, we can go back into all of that slavery stuff, but that doesn't mean that was right. These are human beings. Every human being life matter. And that's how we all should think. We shouldn't be talking about we shouldn't have to come up with slogans like somebody's life matter. Ain't that about nothing? As if we got enough people on the planet that think your life don't matter. So you got to come with the slogan that my life, man, ain't that? Come on, bro. The ego, that's what I'm saying. The ego was overflowing. It was getting too, so it had to be something powerful, very, 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 very powerful to come and to stop the ego and to slow the ego down. Like, hold up. I mean, come on. Do you think that God is not God? Oh, God put I don't know about all of that. All I'm saying is that, do you think that God is not God when it comes to God's will being done on this planet and on this earth? I feel like happiness has a what I want to say, a distance to it. Happiness has an agenda. and evil has an agenda. Both have an agenda going in separate, different directions, right? Understand what I'm saying? So there has to be a balance, though, to both. From my experience on the planet, this is what I've seen. This is what I've seen. There has to be a balance to both. Right? Evil, intent, and ego was like on a major rise. I'm a winner. I want to go be a background on TV. Next thing you know, I'm on all kind of stuff. 200 and something times, 50 times, somewhere up in there. All kind of was able to go to the big screen and see myself. Am I an actor by artistry? Of course. Singer, songwriter, dancer, we can move, we can do whatever, right? But the egos that exist and that the egos that exist in that world. This is crazy. Hold on, let me see something. The egos that exist in that film industry was somewhat close to horrible, dude. If you can see, like, if you can discern and you can see in the spirit, like how these people like their egos were, it was unbelievable. Forgive me. Excuse me, y'all. But anyway, that's why I come out here, to be able to breathe freely. But yeah, so the egos were very the egos had a lot of ego. The egos had a lot of evil connected to it, and it was just a lot of conceitedness. And I'm not talking about conceited like complimenting yourself, looking at yourself, adoring yourself. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like the na 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 na.